Hello dear algorithms traders. In the last few weeks, many of you have repeatedly asked me about the optimal components in trading and what exactly is important in the field of technology. In today's post, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that will save you a lot of time and money in the future. The right approach is crucial in order to put together the right equipment and find the best price-performance ratio. We've already talked about this topic a few times, but today we're going to go into the technology a little more intensively and look at what exactly is important. First of all, we know that only the biggest big players in the world move the markets. They have the largest and fastest servers and absolutely high-quality IT equipment that one can only dream of. On their screens you don't see candlesticks, footprint or volume charts, but rather the DOM and the times and sales list. Laptops or Apple products are not used at all. They sometimes work with 6 to 8 screens on which they extract different information. The arrangement is clear and efficient and designed to keep a good overview. 80% of all retail traders work with a laptop and with 1 or 2 screens. The average internet speed was 17 bits/s with a ping value of 50. Anyone who competes against the best traders in the world with below average technology should not be surprised that they shipwreck and lose a lot of money in the long run. Before a house is built, it must first be planned so that there are no unpleasant surprises later. Of course, my workplace has also changed over the years, but only because no one showed me how I could have done it right. And please forget the recommendations of the trading coaches, most of them have absolutely no idea about EDP technology and trading. Before you start thinking about screens, workstations and accessories, you have to be clear about what you plan to do in the future. Because these things have to be put together individually according to the respective requirements. That's why it's important to first know in which direction you want to move. Of course I work with Apple, Windows and Linux, but only where it makes sense. In the area of trading, I work exclusively with Windows. My VPN server runs under Linux. I have already produced a video about it. And in my free time and when I'm on the phone, I really like using Apple products. The reason why I don't use Apple products for trading. I can't put together an individual PC with it, for example, to meet the requirements of my stock exchange software. And so the Apple computer is always slower than an individually configured Windows computer. Let's look at a comparison. The Apple Mac Studio M1 Ultra has a CPU benchmark of 41,261 and costs €4,600. Now I have put together a Windows calculator for €2,344. It beats the Apple calculator in most areas and costs only half as much. For €4,600 I could even buy 2 computers or set up a supercomputer. Of course, Apple is a cult. I also think the products are very good, but not for trading. The cost of my entire trading equipment with screens, workstation, desk, office chair and all the technology are around €10,000. But that's only so cheap because I've dealt with the subject of technology. Let's start with the screens first. In the middle is a 75-inch 4K screen that will soon be replaced with an 85-inch. As a hybrid trader, I have both Forex and futures market data on one screen at the same time. There are 80 different charts arranged on this main screen and it saves me a lot of time. To the right and left of this are 4 32-inch screens with which I can query information that I only need sporadically. These 32-inch monitors run in HDMI resolution. But why not in 4K? Well, because I want all screens to be the same size. Of course, a full HD resolution has fewer pixels than a 4K or 8K resolution. But the decisive question is always how large the respective screen is in relation to the number of pixels. For example, here you can see my Bionic Candle in HDMI resolution on a 32-inch screen. And here the same chart on my 75-inch 4K screen. First, it is noticeable that the candles have now become significantly smaller. And that is also clear because after all 4 32-inch 2K screens fit on a 75-inch 4K screen. So, to work at the same size, the outer screens need to run at an HDMI resolution. When it comes to monitors, I prefer to work with LG, which are very durable and have the best black levels. Why am I working with an LG 4K TV instead of a monitor? The difference between a monitor and a TV is the response time and the number of hertz. A 75-inch monitor with 150 Hz would cost around 4,000 to 5,000 euros and would have a significantly higher power consumption. In the gaming area, a high number of Hz is required, but 60 Hz is sufficient for trading. Normally, a small graphics card would be sufficient for an LG TV with 60 Hz, but I even work with a GeForce 3070 Ti. The question arises why, because normally that would be significantly oversized. In principle, Windows, the stock exchange software and the MT4 or Mount 5 access the computer's CPU. Only the screens, gaming or newer software to edge movies use the GPU of the graphics card. On the other hand, my trading software accesses the GPU of the graphics card directly and can therefore perform arithmetic operations up to 20 times faster. For this reason, the graphics card only supports my 75-inch TV. So that there are still enough resources available for the stock exchange software, I run my 4 monitors with external graphics cards. My trading workstation was put together individually to my requirements and alone costs around 4,000 euros. The background is that I want to work very quietly and with a very low temperature in trading when the system is fully loaded. Now let's look at the individual components. AMD processors have been dominating the market for several years and are not exactly making life easy for Intel. A reason to take a closer look at it. However, a trading PC has special requirements that are not comparable to a gaming PC. With 100 points, the Ryzen 9 5900 achieves the best price-performance ratio in this segment. At first glance, the Ryzen 5950 is significantly better. That's why I took a closer look at him. Unfortunately, the effective performance is only 1% better, but it even generates significantly more heat and costs around €200 more. This does not correspond to a favorable price-performance ratio. That's why I work with the 5900. When it came to the main memory, I even flirted with a 4000 MHz memory at first, but that didn't bring any advantages over the 3600 MHz RAM. So, you can save yourself the extra work. Since I've been working with maintenance-free water cooling, temperatures of over 70 degrees are a thing of the past. As a result, the system runs smoothly and there have never been any problems. The system also runs very quietly. I've been working with the Captiva case for a few years. It's a bit larger and has optimal air circulation. The water cooling fans are attached to the top. A sufficient and quiet power supply unit is also important. The GeForce RTX 3070 Ti has the best price-performance ratio in the upper segment. Although it is already slightly overclocked X-Works, it does not have to perform at its best in trading. As a result, the fans are rarely used. An important basis in trading is the main board. The MSA X570 Pro Carbon is ready for the future and has two M.2 slots to enable a hard disk write speed of 7,000 megabytes per second. For comparison, a normal SSD achieves a write speed of 500 megabytes. The only downside is that you can forget about the sound card on the mainboard. That's why I work with external sound cards for my specially programmed sounds. The Samsung 980 Pro is one of the best hard drives currently available. They are very reliable and easy to control with the Magicon software. In Mark 10, Geekbench or User Benchmark, the assembled PC achieves absolute best values. You can check your PC there for free. At Passmark you will find different benchmarks for CPUs, graphics cards or RAM to find out the best price-performance ratio. Why do I need so many hard drives now? Disk seat contains the Windows operating system and all the important programs I have to work with. For this I use a Samsung 980 Pro with 500 GB. I limited the amount of data on the disk to 120 GB in order to achieve optimal performance. If this hard drive were defective, it would take me a few days to set up all the stock data correctly again. For this I have now cloned the hard drive once. If my Windows hard drive fails, the clone hard drive comes into the PC and within 2 minutes my entire system is up and running again. For this I use the clone program EaseUS Disk Copy, which is very easy to use. This normally costs €60, but you can even save half that via eBay or Idealo. All data that changes regularly is on the Samsung 980 Pro with 2 terabytes. This is also an M.2 hard drive that is installed on my MSI motherboard. This data is now automatically backed up in the background on a 2 terabyte Samsung SSD and at the same time pushed into a cloud. On average, 1 terabyte of cloud storage costs €100 a year and 2 terabytes around €200. With Microsoft 365, you get 6 terabytes of cloud for €69 per year plus the complete Office license with PowerPoint, Word and Outlook for 6 family members. That's €10 a year for 1 terabyte. So now let's see what happens if my Windows hard drive is defective. Then only the clone hard drive is exchanged and 2 minutes later it continues. What happens if my hard drive crashes with regularly updated data? Then I can either make them instantly from my Plat-E or renew them from the cloud. Why the double security? Anyone who has ever lost important data knows that data recovery can quickly cost €1,000. When I get a new computer, it's up and running within 2 minutes. And with all the settings that I previously defined. And I don't need to tell you how long it takes to reboot a Windows system with all trading settings. The configuration I presented is related to the requirement I need. Up to 80 different charts are sometimes running on my screens, and of course a corresponding performance is required for this. But the MT4 or other exchange programs often require high performance. On the one hand, this depends on how many charts you open, which indicators you work with, and how far back in time you go in the chart. The ticks charts in the MT4 in particular consume a lot of PC power, which a corresponding computer must first display. It is crucial that the whole system runs smoothly without the screen freezing. Basically, I advise you not to work with a laptop. On the one hand, the performance is not there, the part overheats very quickly and the execution of the trades ultimately suffers as a result. However, speed is a crucial factor in trading that should not be underestimated. Also, I do not recommend you to trade on your cell phone or iPad as there is insufficient information available there. Likewise, I would never trade over the Wi-Fi because the ping times are catastrophic. Of course, you don't have to start immediately with 5 or 6 screens. Use 2 or 3 good monitors and put your PC together individually. If you want to trade long-term, make sure you use high-quality components. Don't buy a cheap junk PC because you won't have any fun with it in the long term. I always laugh my ass off when the trading coaches take €10,000 from the participants for their pointless trading seminars and in the same breath offer a cheap PC for €700. Probably because the participant otherwise has no more money for the pointless coaching. Honestly, before you give a trading coach $10,000, you'd better buy quality trading gear. Because if the trading doesn't work out, you can always resell them for €8,000. That's a loss of €2,000, but it's still better than a loss of €10,000 for pointless coaching. First, think about exactly what you need this trading PC for. Identify the parts you need, do some pricing research, and decide whether to buy a complete PC, have it assembled for $150, or build it yourself. When you trade in the Forex market, ask yourself, how many screens are used? How many MT4 charts are required? Which indicators are used? How much course data is in the system? It all depends on what performance you need. The same questions arise in the futures market, although you have to assume that a significantly higher performance is required here. In Forex trading, the demands are not as high as, for example, in futures trading or even in hybrid trading. I would generally recommend a fast hard drive. Then it's about the optimal benchmark to determine the best price-performance ratio. Then it's up to you to find the best price to put together your individual computer. At Mind Factory I have had one or the other computer assembled and have had good experiences so far. You can carry out price research via Idealo or Geisels. The biggest advantage of a PC is on the one hand the cooling capacity, the longer service life and a significantly higher performance. Likewise, the PC can be retrofitted again and again over the next few years with a high-quality mainboard. Of course, not everyone has the opportunity to use the internet with a fiber optic line to possibly reach 1000 bits/s. But everyone has the opportunity to significantly improve their current internet and ping times with the appropriate technology, even if they live in a small village. It is also important to take care of your PC every day so that it does not lose speed. You should also clean it regularly so that this does not happen here. Here's a little tip on the side. Download the free OBS Studio. This allows you to record all your trading charts so that you can later research what went wrong and what you can improve in detail. You can find complete instructions on the internet via OBS. Of course, you can't trade better just because you have optimal trading equipment. But an optimal trading equipment is at least the entry into professional trading. Many traders invest thousands of dollars in trading coaches but have an old laptop at home. Trading is nothing more than a string of empirical values, and this requires screen time. No trading coach can save you this screen time. Hence my advice, invest in yourself first, in good technique. Because that is known to be the best investment in the world. I wish you continued success from the bottom of my heart and look forward to seeing you here again soon. Best regards, Michael.